What's up? What's up, my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a beautifully, phenomenally blessed day. Thank you for joining me for another Topics with Becky. This is the grief series. Before we get into it, please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel down below, set that notification bell so you know when the next video does go live. I do, first of all, want to take a moment to thank you all for allowing me your most precious asset, your time. It truly means the world to me that you guys are here watching these videos, and I just really pray that they find you guys in a way that helps you to bring back your own power into your own life and make the decisions that you want. And just to know that you guys aren't alone on this journey and that we all have to deal with whatever it is that comes to us, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the topic. Today it's about those moments when you have a situation that arises that reminds you of the person that passed away. This happens a lot. And what do you do when the emotions are so strong, right? Well, the first thing is to feel them. It does not matter where you're at or what's going on. I know if you're like out in the middle of a store and you just burst into tears, it can seem embarrassing. And if it's easier for you to go to the restroom to do so, then do so. But don't be afraid to cry out in front of people. This is something that I had to learn very early on. When I started traveling in the RV, I do yoga outside, and a lot of times on my yoga mat, a lot of emotions will come up, okay? And I know this doesn't seem related, but it is, because a lot of those emotions are suppressed emotions from when my mom was sick. And I'm still clearing those out because I promised myself when my mom was sick that I wasn't going to cry in front of her. I didn't want her to know how bad it was. I wanted her to always smile and be happy when I was around because I felt like that made her feel better. And so I had to learn early on that it's okay to cry in front of people because sometimes an emotion's just going to bubble out. Anger, it might bubble out. Now, when you do deal with anger, don't take that out on people. Don't project that out there, because what will happen is it will come back tenfold, right? Rather, if you do get angry about it, because there's times when I deal with anger in regards to death, I deal with severe depression, I deal with the sadness, I deal with the broken heart, I deal with all these emotions. It's not just sadness. There's so much more to grief than just sadness. That's why I feel like they call it grief, because it just encompasses so many mixed emotions. But if there's something that arises that makes you think of whom you've lost, can you be present with that emotion when that happens? Don't try to block it out, because when you block it out, what ends up happening is that you forget to feel it later. And so you've compartmentalized it, right? Which is what we're trying to avoid in the journey to unconditional love. We're trying to open those compartments and let all of that stuff that we've bottled up come out, no matter how hard we fought to put that away, right? And it's an interesting feeling, because when it hits hard. And it's like yesterday I was talking to my dad, and I was talking about how I missed my mom's hugs, and I think I say this so much, and it's the truth. And my dad was telling me stories about how, yeah, sometimes, she'd be talking to you on the phone, and I would get home from work and she'd be like, we just need to go see Becky. She needs a mom hug. And when he said that to me, it just hit me. It hit me, and I started crying. And the first thing that I thought was to block it. And then I was like, no, Becky, you have to feel this. You have to let the tears come. And so I let the tears come. And I felt so much better about it. I felt so much more free about it. Because, when you're dealing with grief, you feel like you're stuck in this box. You feel like the whole world doesn't understand what you're going through. And you feel like no one can feel as sad as you do. And logically that doesn't make sense, because there's so many people who have dealt with grief. But it's just so overwhelming that this is what goes on, right? And so I figured, you know what? Dad's telling me this story. I need to feel it. Like I need to let that come, because I didn't know that. I didn't know that she did that. But when he told me, it was just like, it made so much sense. It's mom. That was mom. She just would always show up when I needed it most, and I never had to say anything. And I feel like a lot of you guys know what that is, to lose someone that is your mom or is like your mother, and or a friend, or brother or sister, somebody that just knew when you were down and out. And so these things, they arise all the time. Sometimes I'll be listening to a song and suddenly that song will remind me, and I have to cry in that moment, or I have to ask why. Why did this have to happen? And of course, the answer is always just that there's a greater plan, right? Like, there is no real answer to why. It's just knowing that the only thing in life is promised is death. And we can't say when death will happen. We can't say it'll happen when we're a day old or when we're 100 years old in a day. Like, we can't say that. We don't know. We don't know. And so when something triggers you, because that is a trigger, okay? So I want you guys to understand that. It's like if something comes up that reminds you and you feel overfilled with emotions, okay, that means it's a trigger. It means that there's healing within that emotion. And I think people on this journey, they're like, well, you need to feel your emotions, just get it out. And it's like, but they don't explain sometimes the other side of it. It's just like, it's not about just getting it out. It's allowing it to come so that you can open yourself up to something new and fill that spot with love, and not beat yourself up. I think for a lot of men, especially very masculine individuals, it's not just men. I think it's masculine women too. They are very much in this energy of, it's not okay for me to cry because crying makes me look weak. No, no, let me tell you, masculine feel just as much as feminine. They do. They do. They process it differently. That's the truth, but they still feel just as deeply as the feminine does. And so I'm here to tell anybody who's listening to this, if you need to cry, please cry. Like, don't feel like that makes you a weak person, because it doesn't. That makes you capable of feeling exactly as you are, human. That's why I bring this grief series up, is because I want to remind people that to block ourselves from experiencing any emotion is to block ourselves from also experiencing happiness and joy. And I was telling one of my family members this, I was blatant with them, and I said, you've never grieved. You've never grieved the loss of your loved ones. And they looked at me and they said, yeah, you're right. And I said, and because you've never grieved, I said, you've forgotten what it is to enjoy life. And they were like, huh, I never thought about it that way. And it was like, I wasn't trying to be mean. It was just that it was so apparent, because it's like anytime that we go and try and make memories, it's like, well, did you have a good time? It was okay. Well, yeah, but you made a memory. Shouldn't that be good? Like, what makes it good? And that's the thing. It's like, it comes from within. To be happy comes from within. You're the one that has to fight to be happy. Which means that as a human, we have to deal with the whole scope of what emotions brings. The anger, the grief, the sadness, the rage. Just being frustrated, upset, overwhelmed, exhausted, excited, happy, joyful, laughter, tears, whatever it brings. We have to feel that. We get to feel that. I don't think we have to feel it, but that's the thing. When you change your mindset on it, it's like, I get to feel that. I get to feel how I felt about them. I think about that with my brother. I get to feel the tears that come because I get to feel the love that I had for him. With my mom, I get to feel the tears that come for her because I get to feel the love that I had for her. And my grandma, I get to feel the sadness and the despair that I had not in getting to know her better, because I did love her. I get to feel that love. That's what the emotion is. It comes up because there's an inner being that's saying, we love this person with our soul. No matter what title or position they held in your family or towards you, it does not matter. When you care about somebody, you get to feel that. So when a memory comes up, and an emotion arises, no matter where you are, allow yourself to feel whatever that is. And for anger, instead of taking it out on everybody else, I always say scream therapy works. I didn't believe it, but I've tried it before. It really does work. It really does work. It releases a lot of pent up energy. Also, not being afraid to express yourself, right? So maybe you write, maybe you draw, maybe you create in some way, shape, or form. Put your anger into that and let it come out. The sadness, you can do that too. Tears are healing. They talk about the healing nature in tears. When it comes, it brings a world of healing towards your soul. Open up the chest. Open up that treasure box. Open up Pandora's box, whatever you want to call it. It might seem like it's not what you're meant to do. Yet to be human is to experience this entire range. Whatever it is that's given to us. And however it's given to us. We don't have control over how things happen. And standing in denial for the rest of your life because you feel somebody was taken too soon, it only keeps you from grieving the loss of that loved one and honoring their memory. Do them a favor and do yourself the favor and sit down and cry and just be sad because they're gone. Don't let it take you over. But if it takes a day, if it takes 3 days, if it takes a week, if it takes a month, take that time and really feel into it, because I'm going to tell you, when you're done, you're going to feel like the world has been lifted off of your chest and you're going to feel a lot better. I have faith in you. I know it hurts, and I know grief is not anything fun to deal with. That's why it's called grief. And at the end of the day, remember, we're in this together. And we've all lost somebody that matters to us. And we all deal with it in different ways, yes. And I've seen the terror it can cause on an individual when you bottle it up. Which is why I make these videos, to help you guys come to terms with the only thing that we're promised in this life. Because we're not promised wealth. We're not promised health. We're not promised our next breath. We're not promised love from people here. We're not promised anything. We're not even promised water and food. But what we are promised is that one day we will take our last breath and leave the world. Just as quickly as we came in. I hope this helps you guys. I love you guys. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel down below, set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. Thank you for allowing me your time and staying here with me as I told you about this topic, and I truly hope it brings you some sort of peace and it helps you to bring back your own power to yourself and not giving your power away to grief, because that is such an easy thing to do. Okay? Please hang in there with me, guys. And I'm sending you out light and love. Until next time, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love. Until we meet each other again. Peace out. I love y'all. Bye.